Hello, I'm Colleen Pearl the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be the February Tarotscope for the sign of Libra. Okay, Libra, here is your throw. I've laid out weeks 1, 2, 3, 4 with tarot cards. These are the Anne Stokes tarot cards. They're very gothic looking, a little dark. And then I've done an astrology card from the Dark Moon, the Black Moon Astrology by Susan Shepard, and then we've done the the Mystic Sisters Oracle deck by Emily Balavet. Really beautiful, beautiful. These artists are just amazing. All right, so let's start out Libra. So we have the Eight of Cups as card 1 in the very beginning of February. So the Eight of Cups is usually a card for throwing in the towel, admitting defeat, walking away. You don't want the battle. You just want to get away from things. So at the beginning of February, that's when Mercury is going to go direct, but not until February 3rd. And so you may be feeling like it's not worth the fight, or that you didn't succeed at something. And that doesn't leave you feeling great, but you still, you are able to walk away. And the second card is the Knight of Swords. And this is probably you living to fight another day, wanting to fight another day. A person who is good with words, good with their ability to communicate. I want that focus again. And feels like they can, look at her wings. She could literally fly away from anything if she wanted to. But really, the message here is that rather than to really fight with someone, you want to just walk away from the whole thing. And the King of Pentacles is also in this first week. And the King of Pentacles is a person who has really mastered their level. It's a king. He's very high up. He is very good handling material resources. So resources of the earth, or just resources in general, like money, like products, health, things like that. Especially things pertaining to the earth. So minerals, rocks, gems, computers, really, because computers carry silica, which is crystals in them. Resources from the earth, water, electricity, you get the idea. Things from the earth. So this is a person possibly who is going to help bail you out of the situation that you find yourself in, or he could be your opponent. He could be the person that you're just caving to and saying, okay, I give up, I can't beat you. But for some reason, this person is showing up in your reading, and that's important. And so maybe that will become more clear as we look at the other cards. The second week begins with the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is like that. And it shows a woman praying, I guess. She's very beautiful. And she's holding a rosary with a very large cross on it. But it shows tears on her face, and I'm not quite sure why. So the Ace of Swords is usually the beginning of something having to do with communications. So at the very second week of February, you are starting up something new. So having walked away from something the first week in February, in the second week of February, you're finding that there's something brand new that you can get involved with. And swords do represent air signs, so I very much think that this is your idea, Libra. And in fact, the second card is the Queen of Swords, so this is you. So this is you being able to come up with a brilliant idea that you can put into practice, and you're going to be able to probably knock this one out of the park. The third card in the second week for February is the Lovers. And so this could be that you do meet somebody that you become romantically involved with. It could also mean that in your project, if it's a business project, it could mean that your partner in that project is somebody that you really, really like. Could be like the King of Pentacles. So in that case, we would see the King of Pentacles as an ally rather than an opponent. So I think the second week is going to feel much more happy for you, Libra. Even if you're working very, very hard on this project, I think you're going to feel much more fulfilled. And also, you will have made a friend of some kind, and that person, whether it's an actual lover or just a really good partner that you really trust, is going to be somebody who's really on your side. In the third week of February, we find ourselves saying, oh, all hail the victor. We have the Six of Wands here, and the Six of Wands, of course, is the victory card. It means that you won. It also, sixes indicate regularity. Look at that card, it's so symmetrical. So Six of Wands in other decks, and this one I think is no different, very often just indicates that you're on to something that's very, very regular, that you're getting into a routine of some kind. So the Six of Swords really shows that you will be victorious in whatever you're doing, especially in the third week of February. And then we come to the Tower. Now, it's a gorgeous card, but it doesn't always mean great things. So when we get the Tower, we know that something very, very challenging is coming up, and it's probably something that's going to appreciably change your way of life. When the Tower shows up, it doesn't always have to be difficult or negative. It can also be that, you know, one piece, like when you're doing I can't think of the game, but if you're doing a house of cards, if you're stacking cards and making a house out of it, if you pull one card out of the bottom of the house, the whole thing falls down. If you pull one out of the top, it's maybe not so critical, but that part will fall down too, and that may cause the rest of it to fall down. That's the kind of action that the Tower indicates. It indicates that something small, maybe not insignificant, but it could be small, changes or is pulled away from you, and that has a ripple effect in your life, meaning that you're going to have to make changes all over the place. So that's what's going on the third week of February. So in other words, this project that you're working on and this thing that you've been so victorious with is going to be, it's going to feel a little short-lived, your victory. And you may feel like, uh-oh, I got to go back to the drawing board and a whole bunch of stuff is going to change. But you do have somebody in your corner. Now you have the King of Wands. So the second king in this reading, the King of Wands, is a fiery king. He is a fire sign. He is an Aries, a Leo, a Sagittarius. He's somebody who's very strong, very capable, very inventive, very creative, very dynamic person. And you know, he may be a little pushy. Those fire signs can be a little bit pushy when they're excited about something, but they're also very inspirational, and they also will give you a lot of encouragement in what you're trying to do. So he may be just the guy to have in your corner to be saying, you know, don't give up, this is just a little hiccup in the road, you can get over this. So for the Eight of Wands, we see that you think everything is right in the world. You're not having a problem with anything that's going on. However, on the wind is a hint of change. So this may be fallout from the Tower coming down. It could also be other people judging you, or, you know, gossiping. It could be people surrounding you that are not quite believing that what you're doing is real, that it's kind of a fluke, you could never do this a second time. Or it could just be that there are some things in your project that need to be adjusted. Then we have the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is hearkening back to things from your past. There we go. It may recreate or rekindle something that you had in your past. It may be completely different, but you know, you're a different person now. But nonetheless, it brings you pleasure and it makes you feel good about what's going on. So even though you have a hint from the Eight of Wands, a hint that things, you know, may not be all rosy in Rosyville, you are seeing things more like they were in the past, and you have decided to view things in a very positive light. Then the final outcome card is very good for you, Libra. It's your card. It's Justice. And I think that looks like Angelina Jolie. Anyway, it's Justice, and it's holding out the sword of truth, the sword of justice, to all who would threaten her. So whatever has been unjust, Libra, will be dealt with and will be judged, and due punishment will be exerted. However, if you're in a situation where you have been doing the wrong thing, that justice will also be meted out. So you got to be a little bit careful with this. So Libra, it's an interesting reading. You are going to be doing some extraordinary new things this month, but you are also going to have some naysayers around you, and you yourself are going to have to adjust your own expectations about the project. Things are going to change in the middle of the month that it's going to cause you to have to rework things, tweak things, adjust things, change the timing, something. And in the end, you are going to feel like you have recreated something from your past that is probably a good thing, and justice is going to be on your side. So in the beginning, where you had this Eight of Cups, where you had to walk away from something, I really think that that and the Justice card are the bookends of the reading, so that something that you felt like you had to walk away from in this month is going to come back around, and the right decision now will be made with the Justice card. So you may feel vindicated, Libra. By the end of the month, you may feel very much like whatever was wrong was done against you will be rectified. And that probably will feel very, very good. Now, for the astrology card from Black Moon Astrology Cards by Susan Shepard, I pulled the Scorpio I Transform card. So that's, you're going to be doing that a few times this month, Libra. You're going to be looking at your situation and changing like the wind as needed. I mean, here you're walking away. Here you're thinking that you're going to be able to overcome. Here you're starting a new project. You're really proud of it. You have a partnership. You're very victorious. Then the Tower happens. Then you have another adjustment. And then finally you have justice again. So transforming is kind of going to be the name of the game for you this month, Libra. Very exciting for you. And then we have the 3 oracle cards. And I think for the oracle cards, I'm just going to go ahead and read what this author says because it's quite good. And they're not very long. So the first card that we have is the Mind Garden. Beautiful artwork on this, right? Emily Balavet. This is the Mind Garden. And it says the image of this card symbolizes how the mind is similar to a garden, in that all thoughts are seeds. If the thoughts are beautiful and positive, the fruit produced will be nourishing and delightful. When dark and negative thoughts are allowed to dominate the mind, they can be likened to weeds crowding out your healthy thoughts, and they will produce foul fruit. Drawing this card reminds you to pay close attention to what seeds of thought you are planting and allowing to flourish in your mind garden. Recurring negative weed thoughts should be recognized and pulled so they do not choke out your benevolent thoughts that bear life-giving fruits. Conscientiousness and careful tending are required. And okay, so I know I'm guilty of that. Very often I will just not be paying attention to how I'm speaking or even thinking about myself, and I will allow some kind of negative thinking and negative script to start playing in my mind, which is not really good. Then the next one is Witch's Brew. And it says, the witch stirs her cauldron full of the perfect healing herbs to cure anything that ails you. Her whole world is rich with resources, and she has cultivated it all to concoct her potions. Throughout time and through extensive efforts, she has developed skills, knowledge, and wisdom. This goddess is creative, industrious, versatile, and talented. She gives a centered feeling of well-being by the warmth of her fire. When this card is drawn, it is time to develop and refine your own qualities of constancy, attention, and imaginative consideration. It is well worth knowing what you don't know and taking the time to fill in the gaps of your knowledge in your chosen interest. Very nice. And then we have Matcha. Matcha is an Irish war goddess who is strongly linked to her land. She is one of the 3 sister goddesses who could take the forms of crows or ravens. She would fly over battlefields, taking the souls of the deceased off to the other world in her black wings. Battle drums may be beating when you draw this card. You may feel something or someone valuable to you is under threat, and you are compelled to defend and offer protection. This card deals mainly with securing your family and your home, but it is also about personal psychic space. Take care to be measured in your response and not overly reactionary. Set your boundaries firmly around what is rightfully yours. So very strong messages there, but I think interesting here. So you need to practice mindfulness. Be mindful of what you are allowing to roll around in your brain. Get your witchy closet in order so that you're ready to concoct whatever potions you need to meet the hour, and be firm in your boundaries. Don't let down your boundaries, and don't allow people to walk all over your boundaries. Stick to them, protect them. So that's the reading for you, Libra. I hope this was helpful. I hope you will leave me comments down below. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you for liking and sharing. And if you're not a subscriber, I hope you will become one. I hope you like these videos. Again, leave me some comments. I love reading them and I respond to every single one. And I will see you next time.